Thank you for pressing play. Let's dive in.
So we made a list, per se, of things that we do as a team to stay grounded, centered, and focused during these times. So and the list is of 17 things that we do, 17 self-love practices. Self-love things that we do to stay grounded during such times as this, absolute chaos, in war times, dark ages such as this. So, okay, so let's start with number 17. We have unplugging. Wow, unplugging in life, basically, like unplugging when we're in the midst of doing big behind the scenes projects. I feel like unplugging when you feel overwhelmed with social media.
For me, with social media and kind of like healing my aversion to it, a huge part of that has been unplugging in a way where I'm doing small things throughout the day where I like fill my life with gratitude. I'll take a walk, like, and the leaves are so beautiful right now in the Midwest, and like feeling the breeze. And instead of like completely unplugging, I'll take like little videos of things here and there, of moments that make me feel like really alive and really beautiful. And then when I am able to show up on social media after that unplugging, like it's like adding things that are a normal day-to-day thing for me, and showing that I don't need like huge events in my life or like huge accomplishments to like post all the time. It's these little things.
Live your life here as well, and not just on social media, because I feel like half the population, they're living solely on social media. And gotta live here. Your physical body is here.
Philosophical question that might be good for our audience to think about is the nature of social media itself, like, does it allow at all for living in the real? Because I know, Tazeen, you said like in the beginning perhaps like it did a bit more, but did it really? Because when you get on there, it's like you are sharing a specific moment in your life. No one can ever see like all encompassing what's going on behind the scenes. And apart from that, like, how are we staying in tune with human nature and having face-to-face conversations with people? When have you spent an entire day with like no technology at all, right? I really wish that we could somehow get back to those times, but maybe that's when I make like my 70s like hippie colony out there or something like that.
So 16 is sending loving energy to yourself multiple times a day, saying like, I love you, you insert your own name. Like I do this often. I just like say, I love you, Brett, whether it's in my head or if I'm alone and I'm just like not looking crazy, I'll just be like, I love you, Brett, to myself. But I think that when you send love in different circumstances to people as they arise, it really can shift the energy of the situation, of the circumstance, and of the people. Like, also, if you're waiting in line or if you're in some crazy like I don't know, crazy system situation, like you have to like get paperwork filed and you're like in some line, or you're getting your passport renewed and you know how long it's going to take or whatever, and you're waiting on whoever is working at the desk or something like that. I often send like loving energy to the person who's working, whatever. I'll say I love you to the person in my head that I'm working with, or maybe the person that's making my coffee at Starbucks, whatever it is. Like, but if you're doing that, you're kind of you're fueling that person with love, you're filling that space with love. So I think that is a grounding practice for sure, for yourself and others. Like, the very first thing you do in the morning, like whatever that is, it's like your mind, your body kind of gets like attached to that thing for the rest of the day. So like if you're starting your day off with like, positivity, you're starting your day off like grounding and centering into you and going within, then like that's the vibe you're going to be on for the rest of the day.
The thing that I've found useful, like definitely meditating, of course, the beginning of the day or the end of the day, whatever your meditation practices are. But a lot of what we say as like, grounding techniques, one of the things that you can do if you are in like public situations and things are going out of your hand and you feel like, the floor is like slipping beneath your feet. I think that you don't really have to close your eyes or anything, but start to take deep breaths. But as you take a deep breath, like this is what I do, take a deep breath and hold it, and while I hold it, you can say an affirmation, you can say anything. For me, I say a prayer, whatever religion you belong to, whatever your beliefs are, say a prayer there and then release the breath, and then once again take in a deep breath, say a prayer, affirmation, whatever it is, and really just listen to you can say it in your heart, but you're listening to your heart and you just listen to it, pay attention to it, and you can kind of feel that in your chest. And when you're breathing, no one's really going to notice that.
So on our website we have a whole meditation section, so you can get into fitness through our platform, you can get into meditation. We are a resource as well.
Yes.
Society and the world have been changing, and I've also been wearing my like self-love first shirt. I wear it all the time, but like just when I'm wearing it and I'm going like running errands and whatever, I remember one day I was like, why is everyone staring at me? I was like, is it my hair? Is it like, are they racist? I don't know. But then I realized like, oh wait, I'm wearing my self-love first shirt, and like people kept staring at it, and I'm like, why are people so enthralled with this shirt? But I think that like as society is changing and shifting and moving, people are realizing like, that self-love isn't just some like thing that everybody has, like some basic thing that everybody has, like duh, like it's just not. And then it's just like self-love first, it makes people think, because it's like people are just like, wait, what does that mean? And like, does that mean self-love first, like me putting myself first? Does it mean self-love first before everything else? And I really think it means, self-love first and the rest will follow. Like love yourself first, which isn't some narcissistic thing. It's just really like loving that internal light within, loving that soul which you are, because when you love your own soul, then you can love all other souls, and like the light within you recognizes the light that is within others. But if you've never seen that before and you're first contemplating that, it's kind of a deep thing. It's very simple, 3 words, but it's a very deep thing. And people have been like looking at it differently these days.
The wheels are spinning.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Take meditative walks in nature to remind yourself really where who you are and where you're coming from, and to go to the park and to ground yourself. And grounding is actually like a practice. I mean, I guess you could say it's a practice in like the spiritual community, but I think it's just like a general practice that you can do to really center yourself. And it's just taking your shoes and socks off when you're at a park or around grass or like dirt, because when your feet, the soles of your feet are on the ground, it's like you're so in touch and tapped in and in tune with the earth. And so, I recommend that I go to the park with my dog often, and I take off my shoes and socks, and then it's a whole other experience if you're like laying on the grass, you look up at the clouds, and it's just, you forget, we forget to do these simple things, but like they're so powerful.
One of the major things with walks is, again, the engagement of so many of your senses, because first of all, you're going out, it's probably going to be a different temperature than it was inside. So you have a temperature change that you can sense. You are looking at your surroundings. It's different outside. You're hearing things, if it's either like birds or even if it's the traffic or whatever it is. You're smelling something, probably flowers or leaves, or I don't know, even if there's just like smell of like gasoline in the air or whatever it is, it's just very different.
Yes.
You're hearing things, you're seeing things, and then you're moving your body. So it's like engaging so many of these things. It kind of helps you to escape your prison of a mind.
Right.
And so rest is very, very productive, and doing nothing is productive. You don't really have to constantly think of what to do next. Just give it a break. If you're just staring off into the abyss, do that. It's fine. There's no shame in that.
Society thinks that like if you go to a place and you're just like staring into the abyss, or if you're like like at a restaurant and you're by yourself and you're just like, oh, like let me look at the scenery and stare into the abyss, I feel like people think you're nuts. But
if you don't have a phone in your hand and taking pictures, people are gonna think you're nuts.
Right.
If you're just admiring it by yourself,
yes,
you're nuts.
Which is so strange, because that's actually sane. Like being able to be alone and be in that present moment and like observe your surroundings and be like here now is actually very healthy. But society often tells us that like things that are healthy are not, and people will definitely judge. But just do you anyway. Don't listen to them. And if you want to take yourself to a solo date and just stare at the abyss, then do that. If you want to be in your room and stare into the abyss, do that.
True. I mean, I was waiting for a friend the other day in like a cafe, and I was like, she was running a little late, and I was waiting, and I was like, oh, this is pretty. Okay, I can look around for some time. And then I just started to feel so out of place. I was like, okay, no, I think I need to get on my phone and pretend I'm either texting or scrolling, or else people are going to think that I'm crazy.
So strange.
When you do try to like take steps to do something good for people, you will begin to feel, okay, this is another feeling, this is another emotion that I'm feeling, that is fulfillment.
Oh gosh, it feels so good. I love giving. Like it just
and that's true. That's just adding another dimension. Yep, another high. So yeah, definitely that is something that we're really big on, and we talk about that to a lot of people.
Yeah, and I think like authentic giving also, it gets your mind out of like any kind of like just these lack cycles of like there's not enough, because it's like there is always enough, but it's like when we believe that, and when we believe that like we have the ability to give, then we can also believe that we have the ability to receive more, and it's just a cycle, and it's a beautiful cycle. So I inspire you guys all to just give back in some way, big or small, and we all have a part in this struggle. We all have a part to play. Get creative with like giving back and with like serving humanity, because humanity needs service more than anything right now. You know, humanity needs support. We even as a nonprofit, you know, always need support. I think like that the more that we can support each other, you know, the more that we elevate as a collective, but then we also elevate like individually, because it's just a good feeling. Like you're expanding, you're growing right now, you're changing right now, you're aiding in your self-love journey and your self-love process right here, right now. So, you know, we inspire you guys to try, you know, anything on this list that really calls to you, and we hope that it will provide you just some grounding, some inner peace, and you know, most importantly, that inner love right now, because we think that just, oh my gosh, so many people are just confused, are dealing with depression and anxiety, and just don't know, you know, which way is up or which way to go. And so, you know, we over here always inspire you to firstly just go within when you are confused, when you're that confused, and tap within yourself, because you ultimately do have all the answers within you. Ultimately, you have all the grounding and all the peace and all the sanity that you need within here. But a lot of times you got to just tune out the external crazy world, all the chaos that is happening, and really remember to come home to yourself. Because it's just so important during these times. And I think like the only reason that we've been able to really, you know, sustain as a team, to keep going, keep pushing, to keep ourselves love elevated, you know, in order to exude it to everyone else, is grounding. Like, you know, we've had to individually learn how to master these things. And that's how this list came about, and took us a while to get to this episode, because we all had to do it, you know, on our own, and to really figure these things out on our own. And so we really wanted to bring you guys this episode as a resource, as a tool. You can listen back to it and hone in on these tips. And, you know, as always, just want you to keep growing, keep expanding, keep loving yourself, keep giving back.
Exactly.